Hello, everyone. Tonight with the Gauntlet, we are playtesting a new game of mine called AKA, which is a game of espionage and melodrama, and maybe more of the latter than the former. My name is Donna. My pronouns are he/him, and tonight I'm playing the handler, Danny Lewis, also he/him. He manages the agent on behalf of the CIA. And his agenda is to use the agent and any assets he can bring to bear to bring the nefarious agency down. He has gone out on a limb to vouch for the agent's trustworthiness, and maybe that gets him into a little bit of trouble from time to time. So we'll see. Yeah, Mark, how about you?
Hi, I am Mark, pronouns he, him, and I am playing Alistair Daniels, also uses pronouns he, him. Daniels is the boss in the game, and he runs the agency with an iron fist. So his agenda is to protect his position, driving the agency to his purpose, and to eliminate or turn any threats.
And on to David.
Hi, my name is David M.K., pronouns he, him. I'm playing Monica Daniels, pronouns she, her. She's the daughter of the boss, and the playbook for this is the conspirator. And I work with the agent, but I'm a figure of authority over them, both personally and professionally. The agenda for Monica is to play both sides against the other, protecting the agent, but always ensuring that the boss continues to trust her.
And on to Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris, pronouns he, him. I'm playing the agent, Cliff Diggs, who's also he, him. My agenda is going to be to keep my cover, protect my friends, and bring the boss to justice.
Okay, great. So let me go to our card room, and I'm gonna deal out cards to everyone. So you should have 10 cards in front of you, and then you can just grab the appropriate 10 for your hand and bring them all down in one go. If that works for you. Okay, awesome. And so how we begin this game is in a cinematic or a TV-matic cold open, in which we see the agent, in the middle of a mission, maybe at the business end of a mission, in the middle of getting into trouble. Chris, this is completely up to you. You get to set the scene however you like it. If you want some ideas for where this could be, or who you're targeting, or maybe what you're trying to get, you can draw some cards for mission seeds. And when you're ready, you get to lead with any card you want. So why don't you set the scene for us?
Sweet. I'm just getting used to the playing cards interface here. So here we go. How do I flip one of the mission seeds?
So if you just click it, it'll flip.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty straightforward. Thanks.
Anything else is like dragging it around.
Got it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. And take a look at the mission seeds here. Okay, so I'm supposed to be in the middle of an op, right?
Yeah, so I mean, however deep you want to make it.
Or it could be at the end of it. Is that
Yeah, I think you could be, just wrapping up kind of on your victory lap, I guess as it goes.
got it? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I am running out of. You can see me running out of a set of tents that are on the outskirts in the countryside outside of Mexico City. There's a paramilitary unit that is stationed there, and I have just stolen a dossier of intel from them. I've got a briefcase. I'm wearing all black. Got a black hat on. Doing this at night, and I'm basically on foot running for some kind of vehicle to try to get out of there as the alarm is going off.
Okay, great stuff. So, in terms of what Cliff is doing, you get to play a card from your hand.
Got it.
And that's the suit where we're all going to have to follow.
All right. All right. So and we don't have a trump card yet, right?
Yeah, there's no trump card
That's right,
for our cold open.
Got it. Yes. So, all right. Let's see what cards I've got here. Okay. Should have just played the King of Spades.
Yeah, so that's a pretty awesome card to lead out with. There's only one out there that can beat you, right?
Yeah. So the idea I had there was, should I be trying to feed that into the narrative?
Yeah. I mean, so spades is guile, right? So this is using subterfuge, fool the enemy, or manipulating them into giving you free reign. So yeah, maybe work that into your escape.
So yeah, so I speak Spanish, and I made my way in there posing as one of the paramilitary recruits or agents, soldiers, and as I'm trying to get out of there, I run across a couple of soldiers, and I basically point them in the other direction, telling them to take cover, that we're about to get shot at by somebody who's infiltrated the camp. So that was my thought, to try to distract them from the fact that I'm actually escaping from the camp.
Yeah. In perfect or locally appropriate Spanish, right?
That's right.
Awesome. So let me see. I'm playing next. I'm playing the 8 of Spades, and I think we see Danny sitting in some kind of field tent, maybe across the border, or maybe like way back in kind of our home base city, but looking at some satellite footage or maybe predator footage from a drone, and maybe with this whole kind of chaotic scene that you described during your escape, not really sure who who of these figures on the satellite footage Cliff is, and kind of trying to do a back trace, and really doubting whether Cliff is going to get out of this alive. Mark, play card for the boss.
Daniels wants Cliff to succeed at this. Can't think of a reason why he wouldn't. So he is going to he's giving Cliff the directions through the earpiece, step by step, notifying him, okay, there's another group that's approaching from 137 degrees. It looks like they're unarmed. Move past that shipping container, and then take a left. Okay, and just beyond that rise, that's where your vehicle is going to be.
But this is, if you're playing the Ace of Spades, that the only card out there that could have beaten the king in this setup. I mean, are you like steering Cliff away from where the CIA might be waiting, or you're making sure that he gets to exactly where you want him to be?
Trying to get him exactly to the exfil point without running into any further complications.
Okay. Awesome.
Any further complications, either from the paramilitary group or other agencies that might be involved.
Okay, cool. And David, how about you? You're muted, David.
So it's not in suit or trump, and it's moral compass. So I feel like probably what we see is with Monica is that she's a little stressed out, maybe. And maybe there's like, trying to think how this would inform the agent, right? I'm not sure. Could I have some suggestions? Yeah. Maybe she doesn't want Cliff to succeed here. Maybe there's something on that intelligence file that might show her father that she's gunning for him or something.
Some information on the dossier that maybe has some surveillance or some kind of contacts, or some proof of her double dealing.
Yeah, let's go with maybe there's a contact. I like that.
Okay, awesome. And how do we see that play out? Is she like on the comms, or is she like waiting for Cliff?
I think I'm gonna say that maybe she's in the vehicle that he's heading towards, the getaway vehicle, and is waiting for him to show up, so that maybe she can make sure the evidence doesn't make it all the way there. Oh, yeah, maybe the boss is directing him away from her. Yeah,
There's-
I mean, I'm open to any of
There's an alternate vehicle, you know,
that.
and
Which vehicle is he going to?
okay,
No,
awesome.
I like that. I like that this might become a chase scene or something.
So yeah, Mark, as you're winning that trick, so you get to narrate how that closes.
Yep. Well, I think that David and Cliff, you guys are really working well together on making this come together. So I'm going to use David's suggestion. Cliff makes it to a Humvee that was waiting on the other side of the rise, and Cliff jumps in, starts it up, and tears off through the desert. And I think that Monica, who has been trying to make contact with Cliff and keep Cliff from getting the dossier to the agency, is in hot pursuit. Does that work for everyone? Cool. It's a great idea, David.
Okay, cool. So so mark up trick 1, and I'll, sorry. Before I get rid of any of those cards, you have a special ability for the boss, an advantage when you win with spades.
Oh yes. Thank you for reminding me. When you win with spades, take a card you didn't play from the trick you just won. Okay. I'm just going to keep winning with spades now. We'll see what the trump is, I guess.
We'll see what the trump is. Okay, so
Part of my hope was to flush out the winning
Nice.
spades so that I'd have the highest spades.
Okay, awesome. So, so Mark, when the agent doesn't win the cold open, you have an option. You can either like set up a new mission, or like a follow-on mission in this mission scene, or you can decide that 12 hours earlier or whatever it is, the usual kind of routine on these shows when something doesn't go as planned. So that's completely up to you in terms of framing. But before we do that, I'm going to draw a card from the main deck for our mission trump. Oh, and it's spades. Golden time for the boss.
I'm inclined to kind of continue on from here for at least the next obstacle in the mission with David's suggestion. So this is now a chase. Maybe Cliff doesn't realize that he's being chased by Monica. He just understands that he's being chased. And is trying to evade pursuit, obviously.
Yeah, so you get to lead, Mark, with a card of your choice, and then obviously you can decide exactly what you're doing in the narration.
Yeah. Okay. So it's really bad form probably to do that, but so I think that tell me if I'm like going down the wrong path with this, Donna, but I think that Daniels has planned for the idea that there might be somebody following Cliff in this vehicle. So he has set up in camouflage, just under like some brushes or some brush, a second matching Humvee that departs as Cliff's Humvee goes by. So now, I'm sorry, names are just killing me. So now Monica, in pursuit, suddenly sees two matching Humvees in front of her, and they split off. The one peels off. So Monica has to make a decision about which one to go after. Does that make sense within the fiction and the way that the game works?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. It's again sneaky, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely following suit and kind of keeping the people Daniels is probably most afraid of out of each other's way.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. So we're going to continue in kind of clockwise or character keeper order. So it'll be the conspirator and then the agent playing.
So does the boss have to play a card for that action?
Oh yeah, he's played his king of
I played
spades.
the king of spades.
The one he just stole.
Oh, you just stole that one. Okay,
I
sorry, I
did,
missed
yeah.
that.
That's
Oh,
okay.
sweet. All right, let's see. I think that Monica has a tracking device that she put on Cliff like last night. And that's why she believes she's pursuing the correct Humvee. So I see her like check her phone and drive after the specific one.
So do you think that given that you're playing offsuit, right? You're not being successful here. Is there like some interference, or maybe Cliff's paranoia has hampered you? Or
well, I like the idea of like there is some sort of, this is probably from the boss, some sort of signal scrambling going on. And so instead of it going onto the right vehicle, maybe it's just sort of going into the nearest other vehicle.
Okay, awesome. Maybe the boss can predict everything and has cloned Cliff's phone and put that in the other Humvee as well. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Chris, your play.
Yeah, Cliff knows that the boss is in charge of this, and he's got to play the long game. He's got to basically give something to the boss in this case. Maybe he'll find a way to get it back. So he's also he had a way to reach out to the handler, and as he was running and running for cover and hiding, he broke some device that he was going to use to send a message to the handler. And so at this point, he's basically looking at it and shaking it and throwing it at the floor of the car, and just taking whatever the boss is telling him to do. That's a preemptive failure. Description.
I'm just realizing that based on we knew it last time. David, you had no spades, but this is going to make Mark very happy because I have no spades left either.
I'm sorry. Did I have a? No, I have to make a confession. I have spades. Do I have to play
okay.
5 spades?
So yeah, we have to follow suit.
My bad. Yeah. That totally makes sense. All right, so retcon. So I assume David, did you have any spades?
I had a spade. I also was. All right. Sorry about this.
It's a learning game. No, right, so we're all
I'm
You're
gonna
optimizing.
put out my crappy spade. There we go.
Just soak up all of those trumps, which might get you into trouble later on, Mark. Very, very astute. Except for me, because I that 8 was my last, my one and only spade. Yeah, so I think like if I think the descriptions work unless you want to rework them a little bit. David and Chris.
Nah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, Guile and Subterfuge, I'm playing the long game, so.
Yeah, cool. I think in that command center, we see Danny kind of, obviously the kind of communication breakdown between him and Cliff is agitating him, and he's like yelling at, like there's a special operations force attached, and he's like scrambling them to go intercept Cliff to prevent the dossier from getting into the boss's hands. But I think, maybe there's like a little bit of time elapsing and we see the chopper heading in, but we know it's heading to the wrong Humvee, right? It's heading to the red herring, the red Humvee, the red herring Humvee, whatever we're calling it. We'll think of a good name for that later on. Okay. So Mark, you're winning another trick.
So leave the cards, please, Donna, because I'm taking another card.
Free pick.
Yeah.
But a free pick with such quality cards.
I know. I guess I'll take your clubs just so I have another clubs in here.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Let me clear that. And you get a description of exactly how this ends
up. So here's my question before I do the description. How many more mission obstacles do we want to overcome? Do you want to do 2 more so that you folks have a chance to kind of break even with the boss? I mean, play or longer.
Yeah, so we're going to play 4 mission scenes anyway.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Every time, but it's up to you whether we are going to like have this pursuit or to have like a slightly different. So you're going to frame the second mission scene anyway. Yeah, so I guess it's up to you. But yeah, we will definitely play for kind of mission scenes out.
Okay, excellent. So let's so this resolves, I think, and we're going to see something 24 hours later or 6 hours later in the same mission. So I think that Cliff makes good his escape, and Monica is unable to catch up, and unfortunately Danny was Danny on board this chopper, the helicopter?
Why not?
Yeah, okay. So
unless you want to shoot it down, in which case
exactly. No, so they find that they follow the red herring Humvee and make contact, only to find that they did not have Cliff. So by the end of this part of the mission, Cliff has gotten away clean from everyone.
Yeah. Awesome. Is that I guess Danny and Monica end up in the same place? Do they cross paths, or are their kind of arrivals on the scene a little bit staggered?
I kind of like the idea of them showing up. Like the Humvee has nowhere else to go. I've like driven it down and the chopper comes in. So it like skids off the side. And Monica and Danny are expecting, Cliff to jump out. No one does. She goes over there with a pistol and some like nameless mook, I guess, until revealed otherwise. Some actor from the 1980s jumps out of the Jeep.
Or it's a self-driving Humvee.
Oh, don't do that to me. That's so depressing. And then I feel like there's this like really uncomfortable look between Danny and Monica from like across the Humvee.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Do
good.
they have
like
a
like
brief
blame is in
interaction?
their eyes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of feel like they're both like ready to blame each other for not succeeding here, even though it wasn't their fault necessarily.
Yeah, and I think maybe there's a couple of the special forces guys who are like, hey, she's with the agency. We should totally pick up Monica, and he just like waves them back into the chopper and like gives her a look, and it's like, I think we get a sense, right, that this is a look that that has been given before and will be given many more times.
Yes,
right?
many times again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good enough place to cut that sort of or to end that cutscene. Do you want to add any more details to that, David?
No. Let's just leave it with unfinished business. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good point to maybe open up instead of like hurtling directly into our second mission scene. Anyone can call for a sidebar at any time, and maybe like if there's a lull in the action, it's a good point to see people back home, or talking to one of their significant NPCs, right?
So just if I can throw out a meta suggestion, which perhaps I'm the last one to realize. So the idea there is Monica wanted not only to keep the files away from the boss, but to keep them away from the handler, possibly as well.
Sure.
Otherwise you'd imagine they might be working in tandem.
Yeah,
We don't want that.
Possible implication.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yep.
I'm trying to think if there's a sidebar that I want to have here. I think that gosh, I don't think so at the moment. Actually, no. Let's have Daniel's contacting Cliff, who has just dumped the Humvee and is starting to move toward their No, I have lined Cthulhu in this game. There will be no Cthulhu. And I think that he's checking in with Cliff, and he's either feigning or he's honestly concerned about Cliff's well-being. And he asks, Diggs, how are you holding up?
Yeah, that was a piece of cake.
I don't know who was in that Humvee, but they ended up someplace else. Did you have any other special concerns or anything during the course of that? I understand things went smoothly.
No, I thought that was backup. You didn't send that Humvee?
I did not. Do you know anything about
So
it?
no, but I was out there. All right, I was out there solo. Okay. No, do not know. But whoever it was seemed like they disappeared pretty fast.
Yeah.
Do I have any concerns? No, I just really wanted to look what was inside there, but that's not my can you tell me anything about what I just picked up?
Sorry, Diggs. Eyes only.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. No, I'm just looking forward to the next job.
Okay, we'll keep getting you out of this situation, and once you're clear, we'll meet you back at HQ.
All right. Yeah, I gotta take a day or two off, just take care of something personal.
I see. All right.
Standard cool down.
Very well. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's planning to just visit family and reestablish cover as a student and take care of his brother.
Okay. So, yeah, I think I'm going to hold off on a sidebar for myself for now. I've got too many options at this point. Too many interesting options of sidebars to have. Okay. So yeah, unless anyone else wants to jump in, then we can have our second mission scene.
Yeah, not to force you, Monica, David. I do wonder if there was something in there that is a third angle. It's just in that dossier and what it could have been. So not talking about elder gods or something, but something in that line where it's completely off base of the rest of the narrative. But that's just a thought. No reason to run with it.
Yeah, the only thing I think we discussed was that there's a contact in there who I don't want my father to know about it.
So there could be a side. I guess my point was there could be a sidebar with that contact, giving them a heads up or something. You know what I mean? It's like trying to
like hey,
scramble.
You might get burned or something here very soon. Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the contact, or like how is it like pure tradecraft message, or is it like an actual meet? Do you think?
Let's see. So I'm going to say that this contact was someone that she developed during university and then now into NFI. So they're like a their title is like marketing executive now, but they've been doing some digging into credentials and other information into my father's dealings to try to find some incriminating evidence. And so I think Monica goes there physically to the office. I don't know where we're based, and to let them know that they need to take like a leave of absence and find a safe house. And maybe Monica's even got like fake IDs and stuff with her.
So the contact is someone inside the
the
agency?
Their cover is like marketing executive for NFI.
Okay. Cool.
So
now we've got like a potential hook of, did you get them in time? And all that.
I mean, or a potential hook, of where Cliff gets sent next. Hey, I think we found a mole in the agency, and he sends Cliff after your contact. Okay, awesome. So yeah, I think we've got an important side character to add somewhere on the sheet. If you've any other, yes, we have any. Yeah, cool. So what do you think, Mark? You're leading, you're leading on this as well.
So, what the heck? I need to fix one quick thing here with my computer, which apparently I don't have plugged in. So hold on one sec.
Okay, no problem.
Sure.
I think it might be worth filling in, doing some backfill in with
doing it.
Jane Barrow, marketing executive, NFI. What's Jane's role in the agency proper?
Yeah, I think I think if you take marketing too far, you can get there anyways. Research analysis agent.
Okay, yeah.
So they dig up information and then share it with others. So instead of sharing like marketing statistics, they would potentially be locating incriminating evidence or vulnerabilities for next targets and so forth.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I guess that makes sense that she would be able to dig up stuff on Daniels as well, right?
On Daddy Ghosts.
Yeah. And so not like field trained, so kind of maybe.
Right. I think they sit in the office and help the field do their work.
Yeah. So getting told to go to a safe house is definitely like a worrisome.
Yeah. Not like it's not like you're being reassigned. It's more like your life is in danger and you can't trust anyone. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries.
So we're setting the next scene for the next part of the mission.
Yep. So again, it's up to you. Whether it's something about your missing research analyst Jane Barrow, or whether it's something else that's in the dossier. That's completely up to you.
Something in the dossier. Let's go with something in the something related to what's in the dossier. And Chris or David, do either of you have a suggestion? Anything you want to throw out? Otherwise, go ahead.
So just to be clear, just since you stepped away, the analyst was in the dossier. Fair enough if you don't want to do that.
The analyst. Okay,
Yeah,
so Jane Barrow is in the dossier, so it's information about Jane Barrow.
Yeah, that Jane has been using her access in this cover, working for the agency to dig up information on you, on the boss.
Ooh.
So you have a mole
now she's
in the company.
Now she's now she's going on leave.
She's on vacation or leave. Yeah.
So the direction that we were heading in was, or at least I was thinking of was, you're gonna want somebody to stop her from going underground.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes. Yeah, that's great. So let's incorporate that right in then and should we move to another city? Another location? Is that acceptable, Donna?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And maybe Cliff is trying to track down Jane, and yeah, that sounds great. Is that good for Chris and David?
Yeah, I love it.
Cool.
Let's do it.
So I'm just gonna draw a seed card just because I can. Do I just drag it out and click it? Okay. So Queen, it's going to give us a city. Queen. Should we have an Osaka?
We're going to Japan.
Yeah, city to get lost in.
Go to Japan, I guess, Okay, that sounds good. So so we cut to Osaka on the screen. And do we need to see what the trump card is now that we've kind of established the slightest bit here, or do we need to establish this a little bit more?
Yeah, so in this version, we draw like one trump card for the entire mission. Right.
So that trump stays the same for the rest of the mission. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Just to be completely cruel to us.
That is so cruel.
It is. It really is. Well, I'm going to keep winning, just so you know. Uh,
Hey, you stole a club. You stole a club last round. I let you pass up those.
You're
those
hedging
trump
your
cards.
bets, Mark, unless that's the extent of your guile is to steal a card you know you will never need,
oh
just to put us
man.
off the track.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so fair enough. So we remain this remains related to subterfuge.
So you can lead with whatever card you have. It's just
Right,
that
right.
if any of us break suit, we can play a trump and then win the trick.
Right. So I am in Osaka. Cliff is tailing Jane Barrow. He has entered it's a seedy section of the city. It's a more impoverished section of the city with multiple high rises, and she has entered one of these high rise buildings. No one knows why or what she's after there, and that's what Cliff is going to find out. So I don't know if that queen is out there. I can't remember, so we'll see. But I'm sorry, in terms of the cards. So for the audience, I'm playing the Jack of Spades. The ace and the king have definitely been played, but I'm not sure about that queen. All right, so he has given this information to, let's see, when I lead. So I set the scene, the nature of the challenge, and yeah, okay. So let's roll. I think it's on to David.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Now, if we don't stay in suit, we can't win, correct?
Yeah. So because the suit play is in trump, there's unless you have that queen,
right.
There's nothing you can do to win.
Yeah,
but that is not exactly true, because if you look at the conspirator's special advantage for spades, when you play with spades, you may add your card to the agents, and if your play helps her win, you get an extra advantage. So basically, if the both of you play spades and it's more than an 11, or in fact, if it's an 11 or higher, you will win through your cooperation.
But if you have no spades,
If you have no spades,
there's nothing I can do.
There's nothing you can do.
Okay.
We'll just retcon the last round and just add our spades together.
Oh, your 11 then wasn't winning because Mark had played a king.
I have no chance to win in this hand. I am gonna just come. Let's see what kind of. I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna get rid of a card, and prep to help Jane to get away. That's basically, I think that's where I was angling anyways. So I'm just trying to help her get to her safe house and get away from the agency.
Can I meta for a second?
Go ahead.
Just keep in mind you have a special power for diamonds, so you might not want to throw out a diamond. Granted, you're throwing a low diamond out, but
What do you mean? Let me take a look at that. When you play with diamonds, you may replace the agent's card with yours.
I mean, it's a 4 diamond, so
But we have. I'm just reading this completely. When you play with diamonds, you may replace the agent's card with yours. So I don't have any spades. Do you mean to sabotage you, or I'm not sure what you're saying?
throw out a
So-
low club
so
or
for-
low heart.
Yeah. So the point here is that if diamonds is the active suit, you can again help, though in a slightly different way, the agent with diamonds. But here,
I thought the active suit was spades.
yeah, it is. But I guess maybe Chris's point is that in future maybe diamonds will come up, in which case you could use a diamond to help out. But
In this round?
Not in this round. No,
Okay. I didn't. It didn't seem like I had really any options right now. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I have
Fair enough.
higher.
Yeah.
I have higher diamonds, but it doesn't seem to really matter for this round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does this look like?
Yeah. So I think Monica sets her up to get out of the country, to get to a safe house, but maybe what doesn't quite work is that the person that she's sending Monica towards has a grudge against Monica. So maybe it's not exactly into friendly hands. Trying to think about how this card would be a failure because it's so darn low.
I mean, I guess it might make sense if you're, sending someone else to help, but they're maybe not going to get there in time, or.
Sure. Yeah, let's just go with that then.
Chris.
Okay, so Cliff's long game was he actually checked out the dossier before giving it over to the boss. So he was prepped and had people in place to help out, to help her out. So, he plays dumb and says he's going to go and try to retrieve her, but actually he's got somebody else he knows in Osaka who's helped him as soon as she's arrived. So he's taking calls from the boss and pretending that he's trying to find her. And in the meantime, she's already long gone. So by the time he shows up, let's say in the neighborhood Kamagasaki, if I've got that right, in a big sort of residential housing project, the person who answers the door is more like an old lady. There's an old couple there. And it makes it seem like the boss has given him bad instructions.
Yeah. And we've already established I don't have spades, but I think with hearts, maybe we have like a flashback of Cliff meeting with Danny, on I don't know, on the underground or whatever we have in Osaka. Who's kind of having a conversation on some kind of Bluetooth connection in the hubbub, or maybe just like talking, sitting opposite each other. And Danny is reminding Cliff of like that Jane Barrow is the exact same kind of victim as he was, as everyone who works in the agency at a certain level and below is. They are victims of Daniel's lies and deceit, right? And he better come through for her. He's trusting Cliff to save this woman's life.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Actually, I spaced on that. So yeah, the person that Cliff contacted as soon as he opened up the dossier was actually Danny. So that Danny helped him find another agent to pull Jane Barr out.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, you, Chris, you get to, as the winner, you get to narrate how this scene closes. And also with your advantage for winning with spades, you swap a card with a random card from a player. So how, obviously in person, this would be really easy to do with a hand of cards. But in the meantime, I think the easiest thing to do is to pick a number. I think we should have 7 cards left in our hand. Yeah. So you can pick a number between 1 and 7, and the person you pick will give you that card, and then you can give them whatever card you want instead.
So
if you're stealing from me, Chris, just be advised I actually have 9 cards.
Yeah,
because all of the stealing.
Yeah, I'm stealing. Yeah, Cliff, I'm stealing from you. So yeah, I'll take the 9th card.
9th card. Okay. And so Donna, how do I give it? I just
so
put
if
it
you just put it out.
Yeah.
That's for you. 4 of hearts.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks. I put yours up there for you.
Okay.
Oh, is that supposed to be secret? Okay.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, it probably should be secret, but hey.
Yeah. So I think it closes out with it closes out with that scene of the door opening, and the door opens and an old lady's answering it, and Cliff's got kind of like a body cam even, so the boss is seeing it. And there's an old man in a wheelchair in the back who's like asleep in his wheelchair, and Cliff pushes the lady aside, really committing to this and acting surprised, even like looking out the window, and exasperatedly steps out back onto the big open porch like setup that you have in like a residential housing area, and just demands from the boss, like, where'd you get this intel from? Like, where am I supposed to go? What's next? And it kind of ends with that, with the boss, with the boss looking a little bit like back half a step, not sure what to do.
Awesome. So yeah, I think we should take a quick break. I have 9 minutes past, so how about 1/4 past?
One quick thing, Chris should take his trump, right? He should take his trick. Take the trick.
Yeah, so just click a plus, so we keep track of that. Yeah, thanks, Mark.
And to clarify, should I have 3 tricks instead of 2? Did I win?
No, you've won
just
2.
the 2. Okay,
just 2.
very good. Are you
Seems
sure?
improbable, but it's.
Are you sure it's not 3?
Said like a real boss.
Yeah, exactly. All right, 5.
Okay,
we'll see.
5 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so this is on to our 3rd of 4 mission scenes. Chris, you're leading. So again, completely up to you whether you want to telescope out or have a slightly different emphasis for this mission scene.
Yeah. So I was trying to think about if David's comfortable with this, if now that Danny has Monica. So if the handler has Monica, perhaps the handler has confessed. Sorry, the handler has Jane Barr. Perhaps the handler has told Cliff some things like, look, you know, you need to get your sister in line. You know, we found out she's been using company resources. She's been using whatever the name of this is, NFI, or is NFI the bad guys?
Yep.
So the handler's agency is, we haven't come up with a name for that yet, have we?
We are, yeah, I think we're sticking with the CIA for
Okay.
Handler's agency. Yeah.
Yeah, so the handler knows that Monica is is Monica actually a double agent, or is Monica just trying to bring down the boss? I guess that was the.
Yeah, I think the way we set it up is that Monica wants her father out of the way.
But she's not a double agent.
We don't know yet if she wants to bring down the agency or not yet.
Got it. Okay.
She's been playing things very, very close to her vest, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I will just pull some mission seed cards and try to jump us into another mission. So let's pull a couple of those out. I think this Queen of Spades is just sitting up here.
Oh, that's the 5 cards we previously used as mission seeds all in one space.
Got it.
I'm just dumping them there as we get past them.
Sweet. I got it. 7 queen. 7 queen. King. Okay, so while I'm gonna pull another one. I'll pull the MacGuffin. 7 queen, king, 9. All right, so while Cliff is in Asia, I think the boss says he needs to swing over to a border checkpoint. He knows that Nguyen, sorry, I feel like I'm pronouncing that name wrong. Isn't it just Win?
It's just Win, yeah.
I think it's Win, right? There's an agent Win who actually works for the who's a contact for the CIA, and NFI wants to get whatever intel he's got in his briefcase, and he's going to be passing through a border checkpoint in Shanghai. So the boss has sent Cliff there to grab it and swap it with another one. So he's going to have about, let's see, what kind of card do I want to play here? He's going to have about 30 seconds during which there's subterfuge. He's going to have about 30 seconds with which to swap it out. I haven't thought of the exact reason yet. I want to think of some distraction that is going to be set up for him related to a gizmo.
If it's a border checkpoint in Shanghai, presumably it's like an airport kind of setup, right?
So it could be he's going through security.
Yeah.
And as it's being scanned, sorry to interrupt you, Donna.
No, good.
Yeah, as it's being scanned, he's posing as the equivalent of a TSA agent, and he's able to, basically as it goes through the machine and as it's being looked at, he's able to replace it. So the first thing he's got to do is get a little bit of a visual on what the briefcase looks like. So somehow he's able to get that in advance and to be prepped. So think that's how I'm going to kick it off. I'll throw down a card. I'm going big. Just hoping the boss has a diamond.
That's certainly a hope, you know. I'm trying to think. You know, he has a heart, right? That's the only thing we know so far. Okay. So I'm following suit. Yeah, or does he? I mean, not does not have a heart, but Mark has a heart in his hand, I guess. That is the distinction we have to make. So yeah, I think I think this is obviously not winning, but you know, pretty high and following suit. And yeah, I think maybe you get a communication from Danny whereby you know the CIA has access to be able to give you a match for when. Oh, why am I helping you? It's a contact for the CIA, right? I don't know. Maybe it makes sense that I'm working with you on this, and even against the CIA. So yeah, I know exactly what kind of briefcase Win has, and maybe I've organized for you to get, you know, an identical briefcase that you can do a swap for, right?
Yeah, perhaps it's going to be a sort of a double swap. You know that the boss has eyes on me, and so I should look like I'm making a good faith effort. But
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it turns out it's in fact not a double swap, but a triple swap. Possibly. We'll see. I believe.
Oh,
No.
I'm so sorry. I do not have any diamonds. So it is in fact a simple triple swap. The custodian who is behind the TSA lines there and is swabbing the floor, mopping the floor, is a is an agent from the agency and has a third identical briefcase that they are going to be swapping with the other identical briefcase after the initial swap.
It's a shell game, you know. Awesome. How do you think the boss is figuring out exactly what's going on here when everyone's prep is so, you know, perfect?
Oh, Daniels is like, you guys are playing you know, checkers, and he's playing 3D chess, like from Star Trek. That's how many steps ahead he is. No, I don't know how he is. I think he was able to intercept some communications. One of his lackeys, the techie, was able to intercept communications between Cliff and Danny on a single occasion, and they were able to decrypt that communication so that they knew what the play was.
Do we have a
Yeah,
name
you know,
for
that's a good point, Chris. I think he knows that there was a third party that was, maybe he just knows that there was a third party that was taking advantage of the situation and going to pull one over on Cliff without Cliff realizing it.
I have a suggestion.
Go, David.
So we established earlier that the dossier had information on this person working against the boss. But then Cliff said, oh, by the way, this person's already on leave, letting you know that someone is already working ahead of you, which would make the boss even more prepared, paranoid, whatever you want to call it, and just like doubling up on his normal schemes. I think this is like heightened the stakes. So you're like not just taking the normal precautions.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever more
Or it could
vigilant.
even
Yeah,
completely.
please.
No, I love that. And it could even be that just on the ground as it's going down, you've got somebody there. That person sees what's happening and cleans up after Cliff.
Absolutely. I love it. That's perfect.
Okay, great. And David, you got a last play.
Well, geez, Dad. So I have a question on a rules thing. So it says on the diamonds one, when you play the diamonds, you may replace the agent's card with yours. If your play helps when you draw a new card, where do I draw the new card from? From my own cards or from the deck?
Yeah, so you would draw a new card from the main deck,
Okay.
but it can't help, I think, enough because of the trump. So
what if I draw a like a 5 of spades?
Oh, then that goes into your hand. So you're drawing a new card from the
Okay.
main deck into your hand. Yeah.
Oh, so it doesn't actually play;
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
goes in my. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's basically nothing I can do here that's gonna help.
Not whether a Trumpy boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have no
Unfortunately.
spades.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna, given that we're getting close to done here, I think I'm gonna play the card that I was gonna play, if nothing else, to help Cliff. So thanks, Dad. And this, I think this would have been some sort of intervention by Monica, if not directly, then fairly close to it. And let's see. Yeah, I feel like she would have been either on site or monitoring it very closely about what's happening, just to like assist to try to get this information. It's just not good enough yet.
Okay. So yeah, Mark, why don't you clean up?
So is it okay if I do the draw just to see if I can get something other than diamonds?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so theoretically, this card would go over here, and then from the main deck,
You're drawing it into your hand. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I thought it was just if I actually win, then you draw.
Okay. Let's see. If your play helps her. Yeah, that's right. So then I can do that. You're correct. All right.
So the broom, as David suggested, cleans up the situation, gets the original briefcase with the information contained therein, and I think that there's no reason that Cliff wouldn't know. Okay, so I think there's no reason that Cliff would know in this particular circumstance that he ended up with a dummy briefcase. I think that Daniels has put some kind of encrypted information into the briefcase, that like some encrypted documents or something that would still look like it is something that he needs to turn over. Does that work for everybody? Yeah. Chris,
Yes.
thoughts?
The thinking was, if I've got all the briefcases straight, would have been that Cliff has one that he actually wants to steal for the CIA, and then he was
Yes.
going to have a dummy one that he was going to give to the boss. And now we've got the boss has done the same thing. So the boss has given him a dummy one to give to the CIA and gotten
Yeah.
the real one back.
Yes. Perfect. Okay. I think that's the way it plays out.
Okay, so let me tidy up. And
You get to take a card too that you didn't play.
oh, well, this is not a spades play.
Oh, because it's a
Yeah,
trump. It's not a
just a
spades play.
trump.
Got it.
Yeah. So I need to clear up the writing on that because yeah, definitely misinterpretable. So yeah, final mission. Mark, you're leading again.
I think maybe we should play through something where Chris has just turned over the briefcase to the CIA, and the contact has opened the briefcase, and they see that what is in it is not what they expected, and I guess Danny can intervene if he wants to. This is what I take
I mean, do you think this is maybe this is something Daniels expects, right? He's trying to find out who the mole is and go up the chain, find the CIA contact or whatever, right? Maybe roll up the infiltration of the agency like that. Does that make sense?
And yeah, and I think that so he has exposed Cliff to he's exposed him to a very difficult situation, but he's doing this as a way, as a test of allegiance, I guess, of sorts, to see if there's fallout, maybe when he turns this over to whoever's manipulating Cliff, that is. So I'm gonna go with this hearts, and there might be some stuff out there to make it a little more interesting. So that's the setup for this. That's the setup for the scene.
Awesome.
So just to recap, Daniels was because I must admit I have lost a little bit of track with all the briefcases. Like I'm totally cool with that, but I set up the house of cards in the first place. So the boss is onto the fact that Cliff is passing info over to the CIA.
Or is being manipulated, yeah, in some way. I think he's
Right.
still trying to keep Cliff innocent in his mind for whatever reason.
Right, exactly. So it could be the kind of thing where it's that kind of cliche of somebody told Cliff that they were running an exercise, and he thought he was doing something that Daniels knew about but wasn't supposed to expose it, something like that. Okay, got it. So you're up, David.
Okay, so I am going to think this is what I'm going to do. I am going to play this card.
Is it fair to say this is kind of this is like the penultimate scene? So this is like, okay, everybody's telling Cliff, here's how you should play this. Is that sort of what's happening here?
Yeah, so like the scene after this is the debrief, whether that's with Daniels or with Danny.
Okay. I have, and if this helps you, you can add it to your own hand. I think what Monica says, thanks for that suggestion, Chris, was to like blame it on mom. If there's any like wavering of loyalty to dad, blame it on mom. Which of course, Monica cares about her mom and blames her dad for her death or disappearance. But she's pointing to him as a someone to just stick this maybe lapse in judgment on if it becomes an issue for Cliff to save him.
Nice. That's her advice. That's her advice to Cliff on how to, if he has to have an awkward conversation with Daniels.
If there's something that is like, just say, and she'll like maybe even give him a letter that mom wrote to her or something, and say like, just say you found this letter, and it upset you, or whatever works for you, Cliff.
Awesome. All right. Okay, so yeah, he plays it head on, and he comes in, he comes into the boss. He's all right. All right, is it over? Is the exercise over? They told me in case you were compromised, this is the kind of, they made me go through this whole routine. Look, here's the documents, and he's got some like, he actually does, he would have burned them, but they made me go through this whole exercise of how I would run around you if you were compromised. And they haven't got back to me. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous about this, what's going on. And so he's really playing dumb that he thinks something went wrong with an exercise, and he brings in the name of somebody who doesn't actually exist, and comes up with a story so that he seems not culpable and not responsible for this. And just says, I'm nervous because whatever was in that briefcase, now you don't have it. You've got the dummy that they gave me. So he's even faking the fact that he's pretending he thinks he gave him the real thing, that he didn't open it.
Yeah, nice. Who knew there was another spades out there? I'm playing 8 of hearts, and I think in this case, maybe that conversation on the train in Osaka is kind of our last time we see Danny and Cliff together, and Danny is warning him that Daniels is paranoid, and Cliff has just got to play it straight, like to be absolutely squeaky clean. Apart from like getting that briefcase, to across the line, like you gotta act as if his eyes are on you all the time. And it's it's kind of like a pep talk, but also obviously feeding into what Cliff does at the end, which is to kind of just brazenly lie and pretend to be loyal no matter what. So yeah, is that.
So the way I think I'd probably maybe even close it out to put the cherry on top would be, he found a way to set up one of Daniels's right-hand people to make it look like they ran the exercise and that they were working for the CIA.
Yeah, yeah.
To ingratiate himself even closer to the boss.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Whoever that lieutenant is, head of department or whatever. Awesome.
And
So
actually, just sorry, even to put a little bit more flavor on it. So maybe that if you're okay with this, Mark, it may be that one of the scenes we see is agents breaking into that person's house and escorting them off to a safe house. They've been totally compromised.
That's excellent.
and fuel for the debrief too. So Chris, yeah, mark an extra one trick, and we head into the debrief. So there's no trump for this. This is just the boss leading. So Mark, why don't you set the scene on this debrief? So this can be like for everyone in the agency, or maybe at that safe house where your lieutenant is. Whatever you want.
So the only person I guess that would reasonably, well, I think that Monica and Cliff could both be at the debrief together with, yeah, okay. So I think it's just them. And it is in Daniel's office, which is very cold. And I think I established last time that the seats are designed so that you sit very low when you're in the seat, and you have to kind of look up at Daniel's behind his desk. And he also keeps the temperature low so that you're a little bit chilly. No, or does he want it to be hot? He keeps it hot, actually, so that you just feel you can feel yourself starting to sweat while you're in the chairs. The chairs are secretly heated, although it's not obvious. They are heated, so that also raises your body temp. And I think he addresses Monica, and he says, Monica, where were you on this entire mission? I need you to be keeping an eye on Cliff at all times and monitoring him. He needs you there for backup. And David, obviously that's not on you because you got crappy cards. Sorry.
No, I love the fiction. I think that's totally. I think Monica like plays into it, and she sort of has like almost like she's been holding back tears. She says, "I'm sorry, sir," and her voice is kind of gravelly, and she's like, it's just that day, the 23rd of April, which of course is the day when Mom went disappear. I won't let it interfere again.
And Daniel's face, which has been stony, begins to soften just a little bit, but then he realizes he has to throw back up the facade.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a card play to go with that, Mark?
Yeah, I do. So I'm going to, since I'm still in that kind of same realm here, I think we're going to go with hearts. And so there's your 7 of hearts. So he's trying to, he's not stepping over the line. He's trying to see where everyone is coming from here, I think. And he says, Cliff. Actually, yeah, we'll leave it at that. And I'm sorry, David, go ahead, please.
Oh yeah, no problem. Okay. So yeah, I think I think it's just sort of like kind of making that memory part of the scene, just to kind of maybe throw things off a little bit. I think what she's doing is just seeing if there's anything that Alistair or Cliff might reveal that would give her an edge for the next time.
All right. So is this is a conversation basically? We're still throwing down cards. Got it.
Yeah.
So Cliff sees that the two of them are both, having feelings about the day, and he's on edge because he has almost been exposed, and he's been up late trying to work out what to do, and he's feeling guilty about throwing that lieutenant under the bus, even though he knows he's working for a bad agency. Some of these guys are still his friends. So he's on edge. So even though he feels something about mom, he's really just he's just full of adrenaline, and he's going to use it. He's going to use that against them, and call out the mission, whatever the mission statement is for this org, and just say something about, we've got to put personal problems aside. There are lives at stake here. I loved mom just as much as you guys did. I think I even loved her more, and she would want you to be strong right now. So he's kind of giving them a backhanded, or maybe not even so backhanded, but he's putting them in their place a little bit to try to get an edge. And since this is like a social type of situation, right? I mean, that's kind of what this mission is, right? I think we could just leave it at that, right? We don't have to take too much more action.
Yeah. I'm gonna play anyway, even though I still have no spells.
You're in somebody's ear, maybe.
Yeah. I think we have a scene of Danny and his partner Beatrice, like in their SWAT gear, like maybe with some of those special ops guys from earlier in the chopper, and he is maybe having a little bit of self-doubt about what they're about to do and how that will or might affect how Cliff and Monica view him and the agency. And they are like raiding the agency's safe house where this lieutenant was put. Daniels is busy debriefing his people, but he has left his lieutenant here. And so the CIA are grabbing this lieutenant. And it's like, we're going to move up the chain a little bit, see who we can. I guess the CIA also have Jane, right? The research analyst. So they're slowly coming in from all sides on Daniels and his agency. Yeah. But that is another victory for the agent Chris. So okay, awesome.
This is a tie.
It's a tie, yeah.
We do have the trump card in the debrief still. The trump is still in effect.
Nope.
So I did not win. Then you won, Handler.
You won,
Handler.
It's
go Handler.
You're so I think that is a good come up and surround the inside track on this. Okay. So
do these? Can I jump in for 1 second?
Yeah. Go.
Sorry to interrupt. Do these points refresh in the next session?
Yeah. So for the next mission and everything, those points all go back to 0. So it's like the winner of a mission, not the kind of lead mission. So I guess the luck you have with your hand in one mission should hopefully not affect what happens in the next mission. So I guess there's 2 things that we do kind of in the aftermath, the fallout, as I put it. The most tricks one details a great secret, So this is kind of the big kind of season-long conspiracy. And that is most definitely our boss. And then the person with the fewest gets a setback. So yeah, no prizes for that. But the way I look at this is the setbacks or high octane drama for for an extra scene or a fictional piece about your character. So let's start with you, Mark. If you look at the kind of rules tab again, there's a section for the Great Secret. You can play a card from your hand, from the dregs of your hand, to just take a slot there. And I guess you get to fill in a little bit more details about the bigger picture. You're muted, Mark.
Just muted. Okay, so I can just play that too, just to choose a spot.
Yeah.
So let's see, Daniels. Oops. The boss. The detail. So we'll have one more session. And with that in mind, David and Chris, Donna, I guess I don't want to exclude you, Donna. Thoughts on what we might want to have for our overall Great Secret?
I don't have a good sense of what our story arc is.
I mean, the great secret, given that this has been such a melodrama, could be that Cliff and Monica are actually not siblings, and Monica's completely manipulated Cliff. But
oh man. That's good. That's nasty.
So like
Donna?
yeah, I mean that sounds cool to me. That this is like an extra piece of the dossier that Jane wasn't able to dig up. The DNA results comparing Cliff and Monica.
Nice. So Monica and Cliff are not related. Good.
if you guys are okay with that, Monica.
I'm fine whichever direction.
Okay.
I think that's good. I like that.
Yeah. Sweet. What was the 2 of clubs placed on the handler for? I missed that part.
I was just choosing a position to on the under the Great Secret to put the note. Is there any reason that you would put it in a particular slot, Donna, or does that matter in any way?
I guess there's 2 things. One is, obviously over a longer period of play, the kind of pictures connecting little connections between the different, like a mosaic, right? You build up a picture of the Great Conspiracy. So you can put it wherever you want, but maybe if it's adjacent on that table, it's going to be closer connected. The other reason that you would play is that if you play the same card as has been played before, you get to change slightly what has been established. So you get to add an additional detail. So yeah, it's just I guess kind of a framework to build up that mosaic of a conspiracy. Okay. So yeah, David, you get to pick. Like you said, you get to pick one of those setbacks, and I guess that techie one makes perfect sense.
Where's the setback?
Oh, just below the advantages on your character keeper, you've got a set of 6 options, so you can just tick whatever pick whatever you want. And this is something that we can play through, or maybe it's just like a cutscene at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I think that does make the most sense. Investigation into Monica. Would this be from the agency or from the CIA?
Yeah, so the techie is a side character who works for the agency. Okay. So, someone who, maybe doesn't know exactly what's going on, but is kind of a loyal agency operator.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we see that. the techie. Yeah, let me look at the side characters.
Because it could turn out that Daniels even learns that Cliff and Monica aren't siblings and doesn't tell Cliff because he doesn't want Cliff to leave.
Is the techie not? Oh, they're just not filled in.
Yeah, we haven't established any details about them yet.
So is this something that Monica knows, or just out of character for us as the players?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, either, I guess. This can be something that comes up, just where she is off screen, or something you kind of find out about, whatever you think is most.
Okay, because if this was like a TV show, there might be a scene where the techie goes home and finds Monica waiting for her with a loaded gun on her lap. Like preview of next episode or something.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a great place to close out. Okay, I think I will stop the recording and we'll do a debrief.